Look, I'm processing my thoughts right now because I just finished watching the Cam Mase. You know, Cam and Mase got a sports show. It is what it is. And they had Jayson Williams on there. He has a traumatic story, how his sisters passed away. He got in the NBA, made a lot of money. And at one point in time, by accident, he shot somebody when he had a bunch of people in his crib and he was showing some of his shotguns, right? Now, throughout the interview, you could tell that, you know, Mase wasn't really feeling him, right? Mase was like looking at him like he was capping, right? They had some awkward moments. Cam maintained respect, right? So Cam is on the verge of, it's like this. Cam is like, I appreciate you being here. So Cam is making him feel comfortable while I believe Mase is making him feel uncomfortable. I don't know if they have a strategy to play good cop, bad cop, right? Fast forward, at the end of the interview, they have a segment which is called, I don't know the name of the segment, but they was calling the cap of the show, like, of the interview, like, yo, was the dude keeping it real or was he capping, right? Mase then went ahead and said, yo, the dude was capping 95% of the time that he was talking. It was all cap, right? And the woman that, you know, is kind of like the mediator, was saying that some of the things that the dude was saying didn't add up, right? Because the dude, Jayson, said after he shot the guy by accident, he got in the pool, right? And they asked him, why did you get in the pool? And he said he don't know. He don't even remember, right? At the same time, you know, throughout the story, you know, Mase was asking him about some of the trauma that he has experienced, right? That has impacted his adult future, right? So if you're a kid and something happens to you, it don't matter how much money you get, right? It can still impact you, you know, later down on in your future, right? And it can make you react and make certain decisions because of what happened to you. So he was molested by an uncle, okay? That's one of the things. And, you know, Mase said that he has, I don't want to misquote him, but I guess he has done some therapy courses. Mase made it seem like he led some therapy courses, right? So then Mase was asking him, Mase was essentially saying, like, because of what I've learned through therapy, I know that, you know, you being young and things that happened to you impacted your adulthood, okay? At the same time, though, Mase called the dude's cap. Now, here's where my opinion comes in. I just think, you know, Mase and Cam are rappers, entertainers, very funny. I love their chemistry. They had beef in the past, and now these gentlemen are together doing a show. Just that alone is enough for people to watch. It's enough for me to watch, especially growing up on this on Dipset, right? I just think that they are not interviewers. You know what I'm saying? This is something that they've started doing, and they're not super sharp at doing it. So Mase especially didn't get the answers that he was looking for because he doesn't know how to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Mase don't know how to ask questions and ask, you know, follow-up questions, because it's a story. If somebody's telling a story and they get to a point, you know what I'm saying? You can ask a question. Even if they go off course, you got to bring them back to the story, because the viewers are watching and we're following a story, A, B, C, D, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be aware that it's not just what you are interested in knowing about the guy. It's about us that's watching it, right? So plain and simple, Mase is funny, but he's not a good interviewer. And so I think that's where Mase found Jayson to be disingenuous. And it's all just because Mase did not ask the right questions, or did not ask for more specifics and details, right? When certain answers was given, you know what I'm saying? And if you already, as an interviewer, put it in your head that somebody is cap, off the bat, all your questions is probably not going to be genuine, because you're just saying that the person is cap in your head. So that's how you're going to ask your questions, you know, as opposed to just, you know, being objective and following the story. You know what I mean? So another thing that I would say is, of course, Jayson, he's experienced a lot of things, and killing somebody is gonna, well, and if you're a street guy and you kill somebody, you get props. If you're in the NBA and you kill somebody, they look at you crazy, because they look at you like, man, you made it, man. You was not supposed to be a hood, and you kill somebody, you kill an innocent person, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to get props for that, right? So, off rip, it's sensible that the guy is going to have his story put together, because he has to be a walking PR guy. He has to be a walking self-selling entity, in the sense that anytime the bad comes out, he has to be able to tell people, I did bad because of my trauma. That's how America works, right? Second chance. To get a second chance, you have to talk about the pain that you grew up in. Why can rappers say all the things that they say? And why can certain people do all the things that they do? I grew up in poverty. I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up this. So that's where you get your pass to be vile and dangerous, right? So Jayson has to walk and sell himself like, hey, I did this, but I regret it. I did this, and part of it is because I was molested. Part of it is because I went through this. Part of it is because my sisters died and left me with their kids, and I had to raise them when I was 18. Part of it was because I was drinking. But this is what I've done. I've started this rehabilitation facility, and now I'm helping people. That's the American story. He has to sell that. Everybody does that, that's been through things. You know what I'm saying? There has to be a redemption story. But I don't think he was on there lying, like completely just telling lies. You know what I'm saying? I think he is presenting himself in a certain way, being aware that he don't want to be blackballed or canceled, you know what I'm saying, or not be able to get opportunities, right? Especially, he said he used to be the Charles Barkley before Charles Barkley. So essentially what he did was, he was kind of like, you know how they talk about sports and whatnot. I guess he used to do that, right? And he's probably trying to get back in the game from how he was talking. So with all of that being said, like, the guy is going to come right? So if you're the interviewer, you got to know how to ask the questions to get the answers that you want, and the answers that you believe that your fans and your viewers will be able to get to paint the story, or a better story, or a complete story, right? So I think Jayson is a guy full of stories. He did tell a lot of good stories, some that people may believe or not, especially when he said his first NBA game, Jordan walked up to him and said, you're going to be a great player, you're going to have a great career, whatever. Automatically, everybody's going to say that's cap because of who Jordan is. Jordan don't give props, and Jordan was too famous to even give a fuck about a rookie, right? Anyways, my last point. With Mase calling Jayson cap, I actually would put the responsibility, and I say the accountability, falls on Mase and Cam on how they conducted the interview, because they weren't able to really have a story be told in the way or in the format of a documentary style. And I'm going to say this, and this is not a shot, right? But a person like Vlad, you know, he's probably really studied because he's been doing it for 12 plus years, whatever. So he knows how to ask questions, follow up questions, and keep the story going in like a documentary like format. So you know what happened from the beginning to the end, right? That's not how Cam and Mase was operating. And I'm not even giving them flack because they're new at this. But they should not look at Jayson as cap. They should look at themselves as, how can we better the show when it comes to giving people a platform to tell their stories, right? When it comes to talking about sports, you can be all over the place because we just there to laugh at things. You know what I'm saying? And just watch their back and forths and say pause and pause and pause and pause. But when it comes to getting people's stories out, I think they have to be a little bit more calculated. And that's what I would say about the show. I fuck with the show. The show is dope.